Hello, my name's Charles Langmuir, and with a few minutes I have your attention as you're shopping around for potential courses to take, I'll introduce you to this one and why I think you might find it interesting. There are questions that occur to many of us when we were kids, and maybe you're still alive today, which are sort of the big fundamental questions. Where do I come from? Why am I here? So, Mom, where do I come from? And we learn we come from our parents. And if we're persistent, we ask our parents where they came from, and we work back generation through generation to the first humans. And ultimately, we get back to the origin of life 4 billion years ago. Where does life come from? Well, the origin of life is a planetary process. It depends on the Earth and on the sun. So where do the Earth and the sun come from? And when we keep asking these questions, ultimately, maybe we get back to the beginning of everything, which is the Big Bang. So in this course, we take this story in reverse order. We start with the Big Bang and move forward to the fascinating present. In this way, we discover where we come from. All of us together, all of us cousins, all of us in the same boat, all of us dependent on the same planet. In this process, amazingly enough, the question, why am I here, starts to have some substance. When we look at the history of the universe, we see it unfolding according to law. And when we look at the history of the Earth, we find it evolving from a barren, lifeless rock with no oxygen in the atmosphere through a series of steps to the present day where it's able to support complex ecosystems and even human civilization. It's a long process, and if we were to go back even a few 100,000 years or a few million years, we'd find we wouldn't be able to live on the Earth because it's so finely tuned to where we find ourselves today. Now, in this process, there's been a whole series of moltings, like caterpillars going into butterflies as the Earth evolves to new levels and systems. And when you look at human civilization in this context, human civilization is simply the latest molting of the Earth, where we have ever greater access to energy and ever greater access to complexity and relationships. So today, each human being has access to huge amounts of energy through fossil fuels and wind energy and solar energy. And we have a communication network that spans time, the globe, even space. And we have a whole system of planetary sensing that allows us as a civilization to be ever aware of planetary systems and how they're behaving. We're like a planetary brain, right? Sensing, thinking, knowing history, understanding, being able to carry out intentional actions. It's a complete transformation of planetary function. Maybe it's a universal step in planetary change. And when planets go through this molting, sometimes they survive, sometimes they don't survive. It all depends. So, what are we? Are we cells of a beneficent planetary brain? Or instead, are we cells of a kind of planetary cancer, just making use of everything for our own selfish means and ends? This is the central question we face. Maybe I am here for something. Maybe I am here as a part of the process of planetary evolution. But the evolution of the planet then depends not on just mechanical laws. It depends on me and my behavior. So my aim in this course is to provoke you to new perspectives on yourself and on your relationship to the planet. First, you will come to realize we are planetary beings. Every aspect of our biology, every ingredient of our well-being comes from billions of years of planetary history and is based on the health of the planet and its systems. How then should we live so that we can support a healthy environment for all of us and other life to live on? Second, what if planetary evolution is a universal process and the appearance of intelligent civilization is one stage in this process, and the successful completion of that stage depends on us and our behavior? Are we up to it? Are we, as individuals, cancer cells or brain cells? And if I'm the cancer cell, how could I become the brain cell? It would be a transformation of attitude of individuals, nations, from what's in it for me, look out for number one, to I'm part of something bigger than myself. What can I do to help? Third, Climate change, which dominates much of the discussion, is indeed, of course, important, but it's not central. Instead, it is the entire relationship of human beings to the Earth that is in question. If CO2 emissions were to drop to zero tomorrow, climate change would be largely solved. But the central question of the destructive power of human beings on the planet would remain the same. Now, it's a science course, so there's some rigor. And in the course of understanding that rigor, we will be able for you to be able to understand and explain to others why certain things are true. Evolution, the Big Bang, plate tectonics, planetary evolution. And in this process, you will come to understand where we come from and perhaps deepen the question, why are we here?